Let's face it, your hi-hats sound pretty boring. I want to show you something completely different that will change the way you do and produce hi-hats for hip-hop. Let's get it.
Watch me take control.
And I want you to listen to what I have going on here for my beat, for my main rhythm section and 808. Let's take a listen to this. So as you can see, I have a pretty generic hi-hat here. The most generic hi-hat pattern that you can absolutely have. It's boring. Let's say it doesn't have character at all. So we're going to try to change that. And the tool I'm using for that is a tool that I've been testing for the past few weeks, and I'm absolutely in love with it. And it's Shaperbox 3. This little guy does pretty amazing job at anything you toss at it, really. It's an all-in-one effect box, pretty much, that can shape your sound. Ergo, Shaperbox. It has a bunch of modules, as you can see here. I'm only using the time module, noise module, pan, and width module. And the rest, you can try it for yourself. They're pretty amazing as well. But before we get into the modules, let's do a before and after really quick so you can actually hear the plugin in action. Before sounds like this. I hope you're using headphones or at least listening to professional studio monitors, because you can notice right away, first and foremost, the width, the stereo spectrum on those hi-hats. It's not mono anymore. It's not center and dull into one place. It has a different rhythm, a different character, and it's completely wide in the stereo spectrum. So that's something that we're gonna learn how to do in this tutorial as well. So the time module is controlling what it says, the timing of this track. Let me solo the hi-hats really quick so you can actually hear what it's doing. It's completely different to working with just manually, cutting and slashing all these notes into place and creating a beat. And I wanted something different. That's why I'm doing this tutorial for you guys, so you can see something completely different to the way normally people do this stuff with hi-hats. Here on the left, you have plenty of options to work with the actual time module, and you have these crazy lines and events that you can create and drag and drop, and you get crazy things like this. With double click on any point, you can delete those points. So there's a tip for you when working with this stuff. And you have plenty of shapes that you can do with this. So you can play with this stuff endlessly to create amazing effects that otherwise you wouldn't be able to, because other tools out there are not this flexible when it comes to triplets, to the way it sounds, to the way it feels, because I'm working more on a line and more on looking for that feel rather than, sticking to the grid exactly. Either way, you have a grid here visualized and represented here, but that doesn't limit you to put these points wherever you want to create something completely different. And that's the power of, the time module pretty much. After that, I have a pan module. There's a lot going on here. On every module, you have this stuff, this square that you can literally divide into frequency zones. So you have the highs, the mids, and the lows. If I click on the lows, I can literally put the lows on the left and the mids on the right, and it gets crazy, guys. So I'm only working on the mids right now because that's where the hi-hats live right now, mid-highs, all this region right here. And what I'm doing really is changing it from pan. This was originally here. So the panning 100%, it's going to pan those hi-hats to the right As you can see here, the R, it will normally sound like this. So what I did instead is move this completely to the right to the has effect. The has effect, what it does is duplicate kind of the signal on the other opposite side of the stereo spectrum. And what it does is create this stereo feel that otherwise you don't have, because it's a short delay of sorts. You can give it a range here. Now it's at 28 milliseconds up to 40 milliseconds. More than that, it's more like a delay, but at 28 milliseconds, it's creating an effect that is absolutely amazing. Just listen to this before. Away from the middle where you have the kick and the snare and the bass, a bunch of stuff going on. So having the pan with the has effect is absolutely a godsend on this type of stuff. And the width, I have it divided into 3. The low is 100%. That means that it's not touch at all. 100% is just a regular normal signal. You can make it less than 100%, more towards mono, as you can see here. For the other bands, for the mid band, I'm adding a little bit more of width, also more width, even more width for the highs. Let's take a listen to before and after. I love what it's doing right now. The final one that it's adding that extra touch is this one, the noise module. It's actually giving this type of noise that you can pick from any of this. And in this case, I picked seashells, and this is what it's doing before. It's layering that sound with seashells on the bottom. It's amazing what it's doing. And you can definitely move this and control how much of that sound you want. If you want to make it more obvious, but this guy's texturing your sounds in this way is absolutely amazing. So before and after really quick, so you guys can listen to this again. In context with the music. So there you have it, guys. Shaperbox 3 for amazing effects for your hi-hats. Tools like this make me smile. They're just amazing. And I cannot say otherwise because I would be lying. And if you're new to this channel, consider subscribing, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss any other video from us, guys. And until next one, don't stress, do your best, be blessed, forget the rest. See you around.